Elon Musk has not necessarily taken the coronavirus seriously from the beginning, but he is serious now, serious about selling cars. And so he tweeted yesterday, Tesla is restarting production today against Alameda County rules. He says rules. I don't think it's just a rule. I think it's kind of a law. But anyway, I will be on the line with everyone else. If anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me. What a hero. He's such a hero.
Wow.
But anyway, and apparently it's happened. The parking lots were full. I would love to talk. If you're an employee at Tesla, feel free to contact me. I'd love to talk to you about and get your feelings about this. But Jordan, yeah, no, Tesla's full steam ahead. Well, not steam, but full electrons ahead.
That's amazing. The American dream, where your boss can make you go in to work in unsafe situations so he can get arrested for a photo op in a situation where he would never suffer. Quite the guy. And we talked about this earlier. This ultimately boils down to profit, because if you're familiar with Tesla's history and their production capacity throughout history, they have had notorious production bottlenecks and delays. John, you mentioned before we started the show that the Tesla 3 was delayed up to a year for people on the wait list. So it's not really like they need to get things out immediately, because throughout their history, they've had long delays. So for the safety of employees, that doesn't actually impact anything. They're fine putting employees into unsafe situations to continue this snail pace of production. So ultimately pretty tragic, and I hope everyone there is okay and safe, and I hope they're practicing social distancing measures in that factory and things like that. Ultimately, I hope they don't have to go back to work until things are rectified.
Yeah.
But for him to be like, oh, I asked, it's only going to be me that gets arrested. Again, like we talked about before we started the show, it just doesn't really impact him, because what's going to be a fine, to a multi-billionaire, that doesn't matter. That's like, fines for those types of things, if you're rich, just means it's free. It's legal if you're rich, because you can afford it.
Exactly.
So it's a photo op. Ultimately, it's going to look like he's the hero if he gets arrested. So, absolute cynical ploy by Elon Musk just to protect his bottom line.
Exactly. Yeah. He'll have a photo taken. He'll think it's cool. He'll go on Joe Rogan and talk about it. It won't matter to him. It won't have any effect. No. And by the way, another thing to undercut the obvious fake argument from the right wing that what they want to reopen for is because they just care about how much this is hurting the working class, and they won't do anything to actually help them directly. But they want to reopen for that reason. Okay, so he wants to reopen the factory, and that's good then, right? For those workers. He's also threatening that if he's not allowed to, he's going to move Tesla out of California. Presumably meaning that everyone that works there, if they're offered their job, they'll have to move across the country, but the vast majority won't be able to and won't be offered a job. So they're going to lose those jobs. And I forget exactly which state, but there's a Republican governor, one of the East Coast, like the southern East Coast states, was like, no, you should come here. We have great working environment, low regulation. But you guys are saying that what you care about is the workers, and you're telling him to leave and fire all of those people. How shallow. Like, you poke that argument just a little bit and it breaks through. It's so shallow. But anyway, the bigger issue right now is that Elon Musk, who is a genius, by the way, the genius doesn't necessarily apply in this area that much, because he's had a few issues since the beginning of this. Tweeting on March 6th, the coronavirus panic is dumb. Yeah, he's right. It was only like 80,000 and growing. It's dumb. Mm-hmm. It's dumb. And also saying in March 19th, this is 13 days later, he'd learned things. Based on current trends, probably close to 0 new cases in US too by end of April. I ran some statistical models and it turns out he was wrong.
Huh.
But he is a genius. And here's the thing. Yes, he's smart. He made some cool cars. He made a rocket. It's awesome. Well, I'll say lots of other people and engineers also made those too. It wasn't just him. That doesn't mean he's smart in literally every way. This is not the MCU. That's not how smart works. It doesn't mean that you're right about everything. But there are people that worship this guy as infallible.
It's really bizarre. The cult of personality around him is really bizarre, because it completely ignores like how he had a huge jump start on everyone else because of like his dad's wealth. It's just really bizarre for people to rally around him just because he didn't really come up with anything new. He just moved like pre-existing institutions into the digital world, which, being the first person there is a good move. But you didn't actually like create anything new. You just like digitized something. So the infrastructure within that really was like for the engineers and the people who produced it and the programmed it and all those types of things. He kind of just had the startup capital. So I don't really get the fanfare. And when he like, I can't even say that, but when he shows his true colors here, it really demonstrates like the bizarre cult of personality around him.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone has seen a million times the Simpsons meme of like a justifiable criticism against Elon Musk, and then weird nerds jumping in front of it to stop. Yeah, I don't. He's a guy. Like he makes good cars. They're cool. If he ever gets his tunnels off the ground, that would be great. I was excited about the Hyperloop. I just wish he would be like excited about an idea for more than like a week and a half. But anyway, no, I don't take away any of what he's actually done, but that does not mean that he is right or smart or rational or sane about everything. And so when it comes to areas like this that he has no training in and apparently is a slow learner, just don't take your advice about these sorts of things from him. And unfortunately, many people will, because not long ago, a few days ago, I think, he was on, I don't know the exact date, you can look it up, but he was on Joe Rogan's show, and he was just willfully spreading coronavirus misinformation again. Maybe he knows that it's wrong, but it's convenient to him because he wants Donald Trump to like him. Donald Trump tweeted favorably about him reopening the plant. I don't know. Or maybe he just doesn't understand, but he gave to an audience of millions of people information that could make them sick and that could potentially kill them.
Yeah, it's super dangerous. I think Media Matters did a really good rundown of all the misinformation in that conversation. So if you head over to their site, it's on there. But also, like, didn't he just have a kid? Like, dude, go be with your kid. Go on paternity leave for like a week. Just chill out. Really, I don't know. He can't log off. He can't just take a break. He just he's got something going on where he just like has to be in the middle of everything and causing controversy.
Yeah, I saw someone had tweeted like, dude, I know dealing with a newborn's tough, but this is an extreme, like going back to work, like against the law. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.